Two Englishmen, an Irishman, and a German walk into a bar. Welcome to Ears to the East, where we have myself, as always. We have Neon, as always. We have Benedict, as always. And we have Backer Broadcast's co-founder, Bubbles, who you're
that's
there.
me.
That's you. Hi, welcome. Just a quick bit of backstory. This wonderful gentleman, he has a curiosity about all things Japanese pop culture. He's not exactly a muso, but I tell you what, he has given me some of the most entertaining responses to music I have ever heard. We've been talking about Japanese music forever. He's been giving very harsh, honest opinions forever, and he's here to join us for the first time on Ears to the East, except for those
harsher
two episodes.
Than yours, Howard.
Well, at least I try to reason mine. He just no.
So basically, Japanese mouth noises.
Basically, what you're saying is Bob's is the mind and brains behind the channel, and you're just leeching off his charisma.
Well, do you know the fact that people now call me Baka, which is the Japanese word for fool?
I mean, that pretty much sums it up, then, doesn't it? Answers my own question.
The idea behind today's episode, by the way, Benedict, for anyone watching at home, Benedict is only going to be with us for 20 minutes and then he's actually got to leave. But
sorry.
I thought we'd open this up because, like I say, I've been talking with Bubbles about Japanese music for years and he's got some knowledge of it, but it's kind of like, little bits there and there. So I thought I'd give him a chance to, if you like, quiz us as the panel, start the conversation and see if he wanted to ask any thoughts or where do you want to start things from, Bubs?
Well, firstly, I've had my charisma removed because I thought it was bad for me, but clearly I made a terrible, terrible mistake. I suppose the first question you should always ask a bunch of musico aficionado types, the
people with beards. People with beards.
People with beards.
And hairlines.
The
hairline brigade, yeah.
Okay, hairline. Moving swiftly along. What is your favorite Japanese single and why is it Drinking Boys?
Drinking Boys?
Oh, no, he fell into the trap. No, don't send him Drinking Boys. Don't send him Drinking Boys. No, Bubs. All right. So, yeah. Do you mean like as a single then? Like, do you mean what makes the best single Japanese-wise?
Sorry, let me just pull back this segue. There's normality. No. I think the best thing to ask is, what for you guys do you consider a good hook with the different genres of music that you're listening to? Because I know we mostly kind of see rock, pop, indie, that kind of thing. But for you, what kind of changes it from being like a song that you would think any band in the West would do to a kind of I can see that Japanese identity coming through.
So in a way, like what is it you hear in a Japanese song that makes you go, that's why I'm listening to this?
Good song.
Thanks for translating into English, Howard. I really needed that.
I'm the Irish to English translator.
Tar.
Get me a Guinness. All right. Guys,
so you want to go first
on it?
Let Benedict go because he's on time limit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. So for me, it's a lot of times a longer structure. In most of Western songs, you have the structure. It's like 4 chords, and then those 4 chords are repeating, and then you have that like 4 times, maybe with a little difference, but overall it's pretty repetitive overall. And I think to me, Japanese music, a lot of times it's not just 4 chords, it's maybe 8 or maybe 12 different and longer melodies overall. And I think that really stands out to me about Japanese music, just more complexity in it.
So Benedict said, I'm not going to get you the Guinness, get it yourself.
All I heard was, I like Japanese sounds. Stop asking me questions. I have shit to do today. I'm an adult.
all I heard was Benedict likes it longer, so we're all hearing different things.
Do you know what? He's infected chat. I bring in Bubbles and everything falls to...
Welcome to the last show of Ears to the East.
I think I have to leave now. Goodbye, guys.
That was a great time for your camera to freeze.
Yeah, the camera fucked up then as well. I was like, oh shit, is he actually going?
As another person who likes it long, Yeah, I'm a lot of the time actually I agree with Benedict on that. It's the structures, it's the I mean the attention to detail and the fact that they don't just sort of ham out and go, oh, these few. I'm not saying all Western music does this, but it's just even like the catchy pop charting stuff in Japan. Usually you'll find there's like long chord structures and melodies, and the best thing about that is it gives it replay value. If something's got like lots structurally going on, then you can listen to it over and over again. It's less likely to just become a song that will get on your nerves kind of situation, or a Baby Shark situation.
I suppose it's one of those things where you kind of look at it and go, it's a uniqueness that they seem to be taking more risks even in the mainstream. Would that be kind of where you're going with that?
I would agree, because my next point for that would be that they just meld a lot of different things, a lot of different genres. It's not like in the West, if we have like a death metal group, they will do death metal and that's it. They will be a death metal group. But in Japan, you have a lot of groups that have like death metal elements, but they mix it with, I don't know, punk rock or different kinds of genres, and that really makes it stand out.
Bubbles, tell us about your favorite.
Yeah, it's always entertaining when you're listening to a song and then it goes from
It went from deathly growl to dog whistle in just an inch of a bar. And you're
That's
just
Japanese
like,
music in a nutshell.
But I think it's the fact that, like, I mean, baby metal, as we were saying before, like really exposed the world in a very commercially easy way to the idea of, okay, this is what happens when, as a country, we're very good at mixing genres together, because we're not so concerned about, like the metalers aren't over here and like mocking the people who are into pop, and the pop people don't mock the metalers. As a general, there's a bit of an interchange between them. And I think baby metal really demonstrated that in a very bite-sized way. But it's not just it's not just the fashion, and it's not just the vocals. It's the fact that it goes into every facet. The instrumentalists, the musicians, they will play. You'll have someone playing a style that seems almost at odds with the rest of the band, but if it works, it works. And that seems to be, it's not like a thing that they think to do. It's hard baked into Japanese music. Everyone's like, just, I'll play this style, I'll play that style.
Yeah, like, because you do get a lot of different things. Like, even with baby metal, there was like, you'd have the singing part, you'd have the singing metal part, and then you'd have a rap part. And you're like sitting there going, you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to trust that they know what they're doing. I'm just going to enjoy this little run that they're on, and it's grand. But yeah, I suppose when I listen to each, like, okay, cards on the table. Yes, how I got exposed to Japanese music was actually anime. Careful now.
Careful. You sure you'd call it anime? That's the word you're going for, right? So
oh yeah. The 2D wank fests.
Can you tell me the name of them for research purposes?
Just see these two are like taking notes here.
Why does everybody have Notepad open all of a sudden? No,
come on, I'm waiting. Jesus Christ!
Why do you think I have to go?
While you're waiting, Jesus Christ was actually one of them. And why do you think I'm going? Is the story of my life. But no, if you think about it, when it's presented to the world, that's often kind of the first way that it's presented. And those songs could be as generic as generic. Some stand out, but they're normally just rock songs, rock and pop songs. And then that's the opening entrance music. The closing music is normally can be something slow or mid-tempo kind of thing. And then you kind of see these different bands, like Howard just kind of throws me different bands from time to time, some which I will make him pay for dearly the pump.
Have you ever got a rap version of I Should Be So Lucky yet?
Lads,
carry on with that in your mind,
mate. If there was ever a reason why Kylie Minogue should be banned, it's just that she said, yeah, no, I'll let you do this, I trust you. But it's great that not only are they willing to experiment and have a little laugh with things, it's more in the case of the experimentation is ongoing. In different ways. Sometimes it's small ways. Maybe it's an addition of like a synth sound versus an instrument sound, that kind of thing. But there's always little progressions going, at least in the bands that I've been seeing, primarily because of some English guy with a hat. I know it'll narrow it down eventually.
Of us.
Well, that excludes Benedict then, innit? So,
So what a cruel way to like rule Benedict out of this conversation.
Why? That's the most offensively stereotypical kind of accent I could think of. I mean, it's borderline racist, to be quite honest. I should knock that shit off. If I play some classical music in the background, I know you're a fucking serial killer with that one. You are the bad guy. Whereas these two Muppets are...
He needs a big cello, and yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm dealing with a couple of Guy Ritchies over here on the other side, so I don't know what's going on.
The interesting thing, the one band that I think all of us have in common as a band that we would appreciate is GACHARIC SPIN, which is an interesting one because they're not like super famous. Like, you know, I think they've got like still less than 50,000 subs on YouTube. But they're like one of those groups who it just feels like if you play them to someone, you know, people gravitate towards them because they're just so interesting. And I think the reaction of like Bubs, your first
But
ever
why
time
are they
seeing...
not more popular then? Because they exist for quite a while. They have quite a few albums out already, and like everyone I know that heard them likes it.
I would go out on a
Keyboards.
limb and say that for every good song they have a song that's a bit of a mess, and where, you know, there were a lot of points where they didn't quite get their sound together. So they've got songs that are very accessible. They've also got a lot of songs where you'd listen to it and it might alienate people because it's just so much going on. It's one of the reasons why I like W is because as an album, I felt it like brought together the craziness and also the like cohesiveness.
I just watched your
The
live
one thing from that
performances.
is that you came out and said GACHARIC SPIN. I was sure BAND-MAID was a shoo-in for them, which leads me to the next question. Bubs, why do you hate BAND-MAID?
Yes, all right.
It's a story as old as time. Firstly, it's about labor and capitalism. Those maids have day jobs, and yet somebody is making them play metal music at night to support themselves. And quite frankly, that's the kind of capitalism I can't get behind.
That's
doesn't
what happens
empower
when you have a
women.
culture without tipping.
I don't think they're in a union.
I mean, look at Miku. She's holding down three jobs: musician, maid, full-time pigeon.
Pigeon is a species, not a...
No, she chooses to be a pigeon. There's a difference.
The amount of pigeons I've had shit on me. That's a fucking... I
now you
Bubs,
know
kick
why.
of
Now
the day.
You know what she reminds me of? Do you remember those pigeons in Animaniacs that were meant to be the Goodfellas ripoffs?
Oh God,
That's,
yeah.
that's more what she
Right.
reminds me of.
like everyone on this side
Oh,
understands, and
not
there's
only
me and
does-
Benedict just like the fuck.
Not only does he want pigeons to shit on him, he wants angry pigeons to shit on him.
Okay, can we not turn this into a scat party out of nowhere? I was like,
I will
Glad you
resist
read
the
it that
urge,
way.
but I guarantee nothing.
oh.
And I think what the real problem with BAND-MAID is, as well, as that they're indicative of the massive, you know, discrimination within the Japanese music industry, which I've noticed thanks to only ever dealing with Baka Broadcast and now Ears to the East, is that there seems to be no men who are musicians at all, ever. Full fucking stop. And if they are, it's more like, oh, Jesus, listen, will you let me cousin on drums, will you? Will you? Come on, look, he's
we don't.
disappointed the family.
Actually, in the last video we just recorded, I picked a guy. These two didn't. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, the
Wait,
instrumental
that's it.
perfect band. I actually, I fired a guy from mine, and but so
You heard it here first. Men's rights, Neon's for it.
I was about
That
to
won't show up in a search engine anywhere.
I do think though I should point out just before anyone gets too mad in the if you've ever seen the videos, actually I've played Bubs plenty of BAND-MAID, and as far as I'm concerned he hasn't got any problems with BAND-MAID. Just before people get in the comments and start doing
He
that.
hates them.
There wasn't enough BAND-MAID in the Peacekeeper series. They had 5 seconds worth of a sound
And then there
bite
was a
for
car crash.
Chosen. Yeah. And the minute I saw that, I just went, I know this. I can go back. I know this because it's all 80s glam metal style rock and stuff. That's how it was put together by James Gunn in terms of the soundtrack. And it's not just 80s
James
classics. It's actually bands that exist within that genre that were never a part of the 80s or anything. So he was giving everybody a chance. And then this comes along. I'm like, have you, James? Have you seen a BAND-MAID? Fair fox.
Yeah. So
Absolutely brilliant
just to
choice.
clarify, so that was like one of the DC superhero TV shows, wasn't it? And there was a bit where in the soundtrack someone's driving, BAND-MAID plays on the radio, so effectively a BAND-MAID audio cameo. So they've been in a couple of Western things, and then the person has a car crash, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, great way to give like association between BAND-MAID and like, yeah.
And again, to drive my earlier point home, a man gets into a car crash because of women in music.
I do like how you said to drive my point home. Like that's the one place he'd ever got.
Benedict is currently looking at his watch going,
God.
it can't move faster.
He's got 4 minutes. Quick, Benedict, do all the talking.
Okay. Well, let me ask you one thing, Bubbles. So,
All right.
I mean, you hinted on it a little bit, but what is it about Japanese music that intrigues you, or you think is actually, I don't know if you do, but if you think, why is this better than Western music?
I have to say, I don't think it's better than Western music. But I don't think I don't take like just Japanese music as such. I was thinking more of the whole package, like the videos, the kind of characters, so to speak, that I've seen in those bands or in those videos, the live performances and stuff. There's just there's a level of creativity that goes on with absolute abandon. You know, it's not necessarily a budgetary concern or a creative concern of a third party, like, you know, a studio or, you know, a recording company or anything like that. They seem to be just like, okay, here's the song, here's a director, go interpret this and work with the band as well, you know, to kind of look in. And you kind of get more of an authentic feeling for the group as a whole. Maybe not necessarily the song each time, because as we know, when we watch like any kind of music video, the music video is meant to be kind of more related to the song in a way. So even if it's like the most upbeat lyrics in the world that you're thinking of, and the video is absolutely dysphoric or depressing or anything like that, the idea is that that's the underlying theme of the song. The video is the hint, you know. Yeah. So you get something like that. Whereas with the whole Japanese aspect of it, it doesn't even necessarily say like there's not, it doesn't necessarily say there's no bad ideas, but certainly there's no bad connections in how you show that song, how you show that, and it becomes a piece of, like, not just a piece of art itself, it adds to the whole concept of the group and what they want to produce and what they enjoy showing and want to share with people. Because obviously any band that does it, you can't recreate the video on stage. So that's another aspect of the performance as such. And okay, you'll have BAND-MAID and you'll have a nice setup. You'll have, like, you know, them in their costumes and whatever. And then you might have GACHARIC SPIN, which just went, fuck it, give me all the highlighter markers and all of my hair. I'll see you in 20 minutes and go on stage. And they're just like, we're in stage gear, but it's like normal clothes, you know, bit shinier, bit brighter. And again, that's part of them. And so when you see their videos, at least sometimes I'm seeing big, loud primary colors, but almost minimalist in terms of what's going on in the video. Like even the latest one, what was that one?
I said about Kachi Kachi Army. Yeah, I mean, when I did that as video of the year, the whole point I said is that there are more spectacular videos out here, but it's primary colors, well cut movement in the video, and then what makes it so good is that the girls just, they are them, and their performance is so encapsulating and so well captured by the camera. By the way, I know that Benedict's got to go any second, so I just wanted to quickly say I get the feeling that from what Bubbles is saying. It's almost like an extrapolation of what we were talking about, the chord pattern, in that when we think about the chord patterns, it's like they don't just stop. It's like no, keep on going. What more can we do? What more can we do? And I feel like Bubbles is almost like addressing the packaging
macro
side of that. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't stop. It's like they're like, okay, well, how's it going to look? There's always like, everything needs to be done rather than just going, we got a catchy chorus, let's go stand and play it.
It's interesting to hear that also the performances, like the live performances or the videos, have such a big part, because I am a person who's mostly there for the music itself, and then the video, it's just some additional stuff, not really the
true,
focus.
true.
But yeah,
I
get what you're saying. It really is the overall thing. I don't know if package is the right word, and it sounds almost pre-made, that kind of thing. But I do get what you're saying. And there's always going to be parts that I like more than others, and there's always going to be parts that Howard wish I would enjoy more, but because I'm such a relentless ignorant prick,
we
I just
have
come
that
up with
parts
the
with
thing.
Howard too.
Howard just
like,
likes
Bubbles,
to tank a show
Bubbles,
and invite
check
me
out
on.
this really cool bridge, and he's like, why is the keyboardist kneeling on the keyboard spinning her hair around? I was like, that's just Oreo, check out the beat. And it's like, what's going on?
Because I don't think you understand the magnitude of what's happening to that Yamaha keyboard. They make bikes, musical things, probably actual bridges, and here's this young woman combining everything in one go, a Swiss Army knife of energy and fucking speed.
All you were talking about was how strong the keyboard stand was. You were like, how strong is that keyboard stand?
Is it that strong?
Well, she probably weighs as much as a fucking feather, so...
Whatever you focus on, I mean.
She's imparting a lot of kinetic energy, that's for sure. Benedict, how are you doing?
Okay, guys,
time-wise,
I'm sorry,
mate?
I will have to leave you guys now.
Not a problem,
Nice.
Benedict. Thank you,
Nice
my
to
man.
meet you.
Leave you, mate.
And
Benedict,
see you
I
next
hope
time,
I
guys.
scarred you.
Alrighty, see you. Bye-bye.
That was a yes.
Benedict's mom's just walked into the room. Are you done yet? Sorry, Mom.
Are you looking at those bald Irishmen again? So yeah, I think the visual aspect's an interesting one. So Neon. Now that it's the three of us, I want to get you on a little bit more.
Just the three of us. Free is the magic number.
Okay, Neon, here's your question.
Oh, go on.
Which is the best rugby club in Japan, and why is it Wigan?
I think it has to do with the pies. No matter if it's a pie in Wigan or a pie in Tokyo, they're just tasty no matter where they are. So it all comes down to the pies.
I just thought it was because of the accent. It's pure sex.
So confused. I'm so confused.
Up against the bins behind the pub, kind of pure sex.
That sounds like a good night out, actually, to be fair.
Let's return to a conversation.
I was going to say, I was actually surprised when Benedict asked this question and we got like a coherent, like 5-minute actual serious reply from Bob's. I was like, is that the same guy? Like,
so I keep on assuring you guys he does have coherent thoughts. I know it doesn't often show, but occasionally they manifest.
He found me when I was fed and watered.
So I mean, like, I think the whole thing about the identity of music is like it's a big factor though, and like the visual aspect is a big thing. Because I know, for example, like me and Bubbles were talking about, we've got a little bit of a different sort of opinion on. I don't want to sort of generalize your views, Bubbles, but I know you're much more. You have much more love for like sort of the musical theater, for theatrical, very theatrical things, and I love music videos, but I've never been. And I like a good stage show, but just there's this sort of cross point around where musicals are, where I just kind of like it just feels like the worst of both worlds to me.
Oh, I get it now. So what you're saying is
Japanese.
Sorry. So what you're saying is Bubs is the guy with taste. Okay, get it. Got you.
All right,
One
you two
day
fuck off to a
more.
cabaret and
Another Japanese band to destiny.
oh fuck! I should have just not spoken about it.
Gustav, get me my jazz hands.
Oh, here we go. So what has this channel become?
Sorry, go on,
quick,
mate.
audience,
I cut
come
you off a
back.
little
There
bit
will
there.
be coherent thoughts. Quick.
But yeah, no, I wanted to bridge that together because you've mentioned a lot of the time about a lot of the groups you like. I mean, I noticed that even like your enjoyment of Necrai Talkie, I get the feeling it's the crazy showmanship as well. There's a lot about the visual side which you've referenced a lot with Necrai Talkie.
I mean, there's something to be said about just okay. We are given the stereotype of Japanese people being quiet and polite, you know, not just go along to get along, not into anything that would not conform with the rest of the group, so to speak. But when you see these people in these bands, you see them as, you know, their distinct selves as such. And it's that allows them to kind of do those creative things and to see whatever little kind of flourishes or touches come out with the visual side, whether it's, you know, their outfits for a video or a stage show, whether it's the audiovisual for said video or stage show, that kind of thing. It's always something building on something or showing some other kind of uniqueness to them. And it's really good. That's not to say any other bands that I haven't come across in the past haven't had the same thing. But I just think that it's less about the commercial in a sense, in terms of what they show as the total thing, whether it be a live show, whether it be kind of an album party that they're doing, whether it just be the singles and the video, that kind of thing. It's more distinct in that sense. It doesn't feel like it's okay, we got to do this paint by numbers, we know how many people's coming or how many people are going to buy. That isn't even a thought for me when
is this
watching
like an artistic vision thing in a way? Because I'm trying to sort of distill what you're saying and trying to understand where maybe you think it comes from, or if you've got any opinion on that.
No, I think it's a lack of fear, really. Well, artism is one thing, but to kind of have the ability to go, no, we'd like to do it in this style, or we think this director kind of understands what we're doing, even though, you know, it might be exactly what they want to do, but they trust that person putting that together, it represents the group as well possible. And just like with live shows, you know, you can have your pyros, you can have your lasers, you can have the best sound together, but there can be a kind of a disconnect between
can
a
I
lot.
just
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to pose this as a quick question to Neon, if you don't mind, because like I was thinking, we were talking about the video, the can't remember what the almond dot or whatever it was, and like we talked about Hannah Beer, because like Bubbles is saying about the artistic freedom. I think in a way, maybe it goes the opposite way. Maybe do you feel like groups actually feel encouraged? Like there's actually it's like a reward. It's like if I do something different, if I go a little bit further and I do something a little bit odd, there's almost like a sense of it's proven, there's precedent that there's a reward for doing that in Japan. Like if I do something crazy, I know that it's probably going to be good for me.
Yes, I do. I feel like you're definitely more encouraged in Japan and Korea to take more creative risks, not only with your songs, but your career as well. I just think they're a lot more open thinking to be able to take those kind of risks that I think pay off dividends near the end of what you're trying to accomplish, or whatever it is, the subject matter itself for each song. You can go into something and do a crazy music video or make a creative choice in a song that is perhaps a little bit maybe not by the book, and it can go one of two ways. People really enjoy it and they think it's really good, or people don't like it. But I feel like for most Japanese music is if you enjoy it, it comes up as really, really good and you got something really unique. And if they don't enjoy it, they just go, oh, okay, well, you tried. Whereas I feel
there's
like
no shame in trying.
There's no shame in trying. Whereas I feel like more in the West, like if you got like a big metal band, just for instance, and they went completely left field and did something completely different to try something, like you get a lot of the fans go, oh, fuck,
you get a Van Halen jump moment.
Yeah. So
like,
it's
what is this?
What is this?
Sorry, Bubs.
They're not
you might get that one.
They're not metal anymore. So
who's the new guy singing again?
I feel like they do get more chance. They're way more open over there for sure. I was going to ask Bubs as well. What kind of bands do you gravitate to? What bands are kind of like your favorite, just so I know your general kind of like taste and stuff? And why is it Dada Dams?
Well, firstly, it's the stutter that gets you. Because you hear them and you go, damn. I think it's more in the case of I'm willing to go and try any musical genre for any reason, just because I know I'm always going to find something I like about it. In terms of the Japanese stuff, yeah, there's been a lot of guitar stuff. So you'd have stuff like GACHARIC SPIN, Necro. I'll even use the right names this time. Howard.
Necro Toffee, yeah. Toffee of the Dead.
Yeah. Toffee of the Dead. Can't
I
get
love
better
that.
than that.
That Bubs came up,
Garlic.
for anyone who knows that from my Discord but doesn't know who Bubs came up with that. It was like Necro Toffee instead of Necro Talkie. That's brilliant.
And garlic spits. Don't ask me why, but they do.
Just hearing anything with Necro in it and knowing Bub's love of hentai had me worried for a little bit, I'm going to be honest.
I'm a discerning watcher, I will have you know.
He leaves reviews on it and everything.
I'm there for the animation, like I read Playboy articles.
He watches it frame by frame.
But in the kind of it is kind of rock pop kind of stuff, mostly because I haven't had a chance to get into kind of looking at the hip hop side of things, whether it's kind of garage, straight hip hop, drill, whatever, or even stuff like what would be kind of perceived as kind of conscious rap or anything. But that's more of a language barrier on my end that I can't really track that down at the moment. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but the idea being is that with any genre music in any country or any culture, you will find the kind of the groups are out for fun, and I love a dance floor filler, regardless of what it is, because it's fun. It's meant to be just what it is.
For USA by the Pump.
No, that is a war crime.
That
is a war crime.
It's America's worst war crime, and it wasn't even made by them.
I love the way they managed to prove that there is no such thing as God or souls, and they're not ginger. So that's an accomplishment. That's science, people.
Japan is way ahead of an Irishman. Going against gingers in religion when you're
that's why he shaves to hide the ginger.
No, that's just because I don't want to let people know how popular my mother was. Anyhow. Hang on a second. Sorry. Viewers? Where did all the viewers go?
Oh, fuck me.
No, I'm trying as I get along and things, like there's just certain music for certain occasions. So for me, it's not about shitting on whatever band, because it's more in the case of, if I don't like it, I just won't really deal with it much. If I truly hate it in a torturous fashion because Howard's a prick, well, I'm gonna play along, because we need content. Always remember content.
He's a man who knows how the content works.
I am just waiting for Howard to throw up something on back of broadcast going, we listened to 12 hours of The Pump, sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
I will actually say, though, that on a serious note, because obviously we've talked a lot about the very theatrical style of music, and we've listened to a lot of that, me and Bubs as well, because a lot of the time the music that I play to Bubs is stuff that's like popular on my channel, and it will be things like Unlucky Morpheus, like GACHARIC SPIN, and these are great bands. But me and Bubs both actually, to a slight side, as you mentioned, we both really enjoy rap music as well, and Japanese style rap, there's a lot of really good stuff, and I think it'd be really cool maybe to do an episode where we listen to some music and I just like give you guys the lyric sheets, and then you can just like listen to it, and then we can talk about that afterwards, because Bubs is definitely like the sort of person you'd be able to have a lot to say about that. So we could come back and we could do an episode where we focus a little bit on Japanese hip hop and rap, and it's they do a lot of stuff really rapping about their lives, but not in that kind of Eminem, everyone in my life is evil and they hate me and I want to kill them kind of way. More in a sort of there's some very down to earth style rap in Japan.
You know,
really
it's unique to that culture because let's put it like this: they're not going to be rapping about Crips and Bloods, but at the same time, they're gonna be talking about problems that they have. Like there was right in terms of drill music, right? There's a couple of guys in Sligo. Yes, I know. It's not East, it's West, right? But they were doing some absolutely great stuff lyrically. But they were talking about having their nines and their guns, and you kind of sit there going, "Lads, you're from Sligo. You're doing it in your own accent." Now, firstly, respect for keeping the accent, and respect for the lyricism. But in terms of dedicated realism, I would have some questions. Firstly, you know, but then you get band like actually one that's going big now in Ireland and in the UK.
We got 3 minutes, by the way, before Zoom kicks us out.
So so they're kind of things that Kneecap talk about are about the situation in Northern Ireland and growing up there, whereas in Japan it might be about the fact that you know, portions of the population are kind of left out of society. You know,
it's a very, as a general, because it's a society where people are doing pretty right for the best part. A lot of it tends to be very introverted, very personal, about sort of personal life stuff. So I mean, it's a good insight into like Japanese minds and Japanese life. So yeah, maybe we can do that. But all right, we've got 2.5 minutes. So Neon, do you want to wrap this up with any final thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh well, thoughts in general are not my. But
that's how this channel works.
That's how
I have a light up microphone. I'm not here for coherence.
Yeah. Don't give it to me. I'm kind of like stuttering. I'm kind of like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be presenting this thing.
It's like I brought bubbles, the microphone brought Neon.
Yeah. It's all about it's the flashy microphone. That's how they think I'm an actual serious YouTuber. So they don't focus on me, they just look at the microphone.
I like how like Bubs has got his like Christmas lights. You got your light up microphone. I got a bunch of 100 yen frames with like pictures I printed out from down the local convenience store. Yes,
and you forgot the most important thing, Howard. I have a spit guard. I don't care what you call it. It's a spit guard.
It just makes me think of the fact that you spit on it. It's not called a spit guard, and you need to stop spitting on your microphone.
But it sounds better when I do.
I'm just so glad that I'm many thousands of miles away from where that's happening right now. All right, so we got a minute left. Let's wrap this up.
Leon, do it.
All right, okay. Guys, don't forget, if you enjoyed Bubs, let us know in the comments down below. Yeah, just as a friendly reminder, make sure to comment down below. Take the piss out of Bubs. Fuck it, why not? That way he can respond to every single. Yeah,
he's going to be in the comments. I don't know how we should feel about it.
Yeah, he should respond to every single comment and give you the jibber back. So look forward to that. And as always, guys,
subscribers.
Don't forget to keep your ears to the West, apparently, in Ireland, this episode. Fuck it, why not? And also, give me the list of the hentai movies while this is about to come.
Quick, you're supposed to log out first.
Oh, shit, yeah.